As you come into our school and you see Pope Francis' words of, "Dear young people, do not be afraid to dream of great things," that's an invitation for kids. That affects their psyche. A lot of our work has just been centered around educating people about what strengths are and what are the different types of strengths. Using a context that is familiar, welcoming, comfortable, getting kids to be more aware of their strengths and how they're used. Start talking about what they're capable of doing if they knew their strengths. It gives them a purpose, a focus, something to hang on to, a core belief. We can go further, do more, knowing our strengths. The number one sign and symbol that we're looking for in terms of whether this is changing the culture and how people feel when they're here or treat one another is really two things. One is language. Language is a very powerful indicator of a culture, a civilization. I would go as far as to say a community, the health of a community. So you will hear strength-based language. You will hear kids saying, "We need to go big." Have dreams. Don't wait to be a great man or a great woman. Be a good kid now. I have the power to inspire another classmate. The second thing that I think that really shows whether this has grown some roots is how people feel. So when people come into the office or are walking through the school and they're saying things like, "It feels welcoming here, it feels inviting, it feels safe," that's gonna leverage the learning 10 out of 10 times.
Okay, sometimes kids only see themselves as like, I'm a good soccer player, but I'm not really good at school. Or I'm a good, reader, but I'm not really good at math. But this way, the kids see like, wow, I'm kind, I'm caring, I have zest, I have curiosity, I have all of these things that I'm good at, and it builds their self-confidence and it builds them up. And so they're more likely to share it with other kids. And it's funny, the kids, at school will actually say to each other like, no, you showed hope there, or you were really kind there, or you know what, you're really good at this. And it just like ripples, right? And it spreads throughout the classroom. So that language, when I use it and now they're using it and they're encouraging each other, I've noticed my kids, their confidence has just soared. So one child in my class who was a struggling reader, we're building his confidence and telling him all about his strengths, and he is perseverant and he's determined, and it's just like, oh yeah, I am. And now, you know what, he is just soaring, and it is so amazing. It really is exciting for me, and it brings me to tears, because it's like I see this child who was struggling and was not very high in confidence and building his strengths and what you're good at, and now he's like, I can do this, and he can, and he's rocking it. So I'm just really excited.
The 24 character strengths are in all of us. So they're in all of us. We have all of them. We possess all of these qualities that we can cultivate and grow. It's just that some naturally are stronger than others. So it's not that we just don't have that. It's that I got that, like I have that in my back pocket, but it's like, it's just simmering there. And when I need it, I'll maybe give my attention to it, and then it'll grow.
We started off at the beginning of the year by asking parents actually to give us 3 words that describe their children.
And we just think it's a good way to start off the year on a positive note, get to know the kids, and the kids really enjoy looking at the board, and they're proud of their words and their pictures that they put up there, and they choose what they would like to put up on the wall. One thing that we like to do, we have a superhero of the day every day, and one activity that we did last year and we'll do again this year is we have the super of the day stand up in front of the class, and then the other children offer what they feel that student's strengths are, so what they've learned about them over the year. It's a good experience, positive for everyone.
We share it on our social media site so that the parents can get a chance to share in it as well. So we kind of make the connect at home with that as well.
These come from the parents. So we're starting off the year involving the parents and involving the child, and bringing their strengths to our classroom and having them share.
I'm smart, strong, and I like to ask questions. Creative, fun, energetic, and happy.
When we're working with small children, rather than focusing on, negative character traits, we look at things that they're good at, and we try to flip it. So where in the past we might have labeled a child as being, strong-willed or defiant, instead we try to look at it as, well, they're actually determined and persistent, and those are strengths. It's the same thing, but it's a different way of viewing it and appreciating it.
And I think we hear that within the classroom, the students commenting that what they're good at and how they see themselves in a positive light. And you don't hear a lot of that negative, I can't do it. So I think that carries over to them as well.
So our first year, we had a lot of growing pains and just trying to figure out what it meant and learning the language, like the specific language we were choosing to use to make sure that we encompassed all strengths, to change our own perspectives on those nuisance traits as well. Whenever they have a day with a student that's really frustrating, they're going back to that list to go through it, find that strength, because they're doing it specifically to make sure they find something they like about the student, to make sure they're building positive relationships so they can encourage the resiliency as well. So it's really been a beautiful, beautiful thing.
When you go onto the VIA Strengths website, there's an online survey, one geared toward youth and one toward adults, and it asks a series of many questions to help identify your strengths. And so it does spit out a report for you. And again, it lists all 24 because we all possess all of them. But at the top, you sort of identify what your top, maybe your top 5, whatever you want, or just to see the whole rainbow of them in you. And so our school did that last year with every student. So we had a team that led by Ms. Soderellis that went around and helped the kids go through all the questions. Yeah, so that was amazing.
Every time I talk in front of a large group of people, I struggle. I'm scared. And I ask the kids, how do you think I speak? And they say, you're a really good speaker, sir. You're really engaging. And then I'll tell them that actually I used to stutter. I'm very afraid every time I go up. So how am I doing this? What is my strength? 9 out of 10 times they say, bravery? Bingo, that's my #1 strength, bravery. It was also the strength that was #1 for getting me in trouble because I lacked self-regulation. And so it's good to have that conversation with kids, in that strengths are amazing, powerful tools. It's your personality, but you also have to work on those strengths to grow. My other one is humor. I love being funny. Again, that's a strength that got me into a lot of trouble in school because too much, too often, too fast, too soon. And so I've learned how to use it in an appropriate way and at the right time. And in fact, as I've learned about strengths and some psychology research, humor can leverage the culture of a school to a very profound, positive one, if used in a timely, productive way. And so I think it's important for kids to learn it's not about talents and skills. Those are important. That's what we're getting to with jobs and careers and learning. But it's really the persistence, the bravery, the curiosity, the commitment. Those are the things they have to tap into, be aware of, and really engage for them to develop their talents and skills. And so we've gone right to their core, right to the root of who they are as beings, and saying, your persistence, it's amazing. It allows you to go up on stage and never give up. Your compassion, unbelievable. It's what makes you an awesome member of our social justice team. Without you, we would not have as many people inspired because of your compassion. So that's how strengths really work. So the imagery is a tree, and the strengths are really the roots. And if the roots are there, then everything else follows.
Strengths